Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. It is Tuesday, July the 8th. There's a couple of news stories I saw this morning, which I'll chat about. But before that, I must apologize. I've been struggling with a frog in my throat and a cough. I haven't been too well, to be frank, and I think I'm on the mend now. But for those of you who have been listening to me and I've been clearing my throat and coughing, I do apologize, and I thank you for your forbearance. So hopefully it is on the mend. There's two stories I saw this morning that interested me and I thought I would chat about. One is I saw Andy Lee, the former world champion and renowned trainer out of Ireland, speaking to a few media outlets. And he's speaking about a couple of issues, really. He, of course, has got Hamzah Sheeraz coming up this Saturday. And, you know, he's been talking about Sheeraz's chances against BERLANGA. And of course, you know, there's been a bit of back and forth, right? BERLANGA seems to sort of like enjoy giving Andy Lee the gears a little bit as well. So Andy Lee seemed to think it was all in, you know, sort of good fun. And he's very complimentary about BERLANGA. He's a very good fighter and everything like that. But he did say how impressed he is with Hamzah Sheeraz's punching power. And he also said that the key for Hamzah Sheeraz to prevail on Saturday is to not let the occasion get to him, stick to a plan, take his time, and, you know, if he does all that, sticks to the plan, he's got a very good chance, may even manage to produce a stoppage. So for fans of Hamzah Sheeraz, that's probably, you know, sort of reassuring or good news. I'm looking forward to this fight, actually. As you know, I am warming a little bit to Hamzah Sheeraz. And I will reiterate a point that I've made many times. With boxers, I think so much hype and expectation is put on them so early in their careers that actually, in my view, might actually hold them back. You know, they've got this weight of, oh my gosh, responsibilities. And that must play on a guy's mind, or a gal's mind, if it's women's boxing we're talking about. So I would personally like to see the hyperbole button just turned down a little bit. Let these fighters get developed. But hey, that's just my view, right? And I know hype sells. And that's what this business is about. I think a lot of us sort of get confused, myself included, with the sport, the business, and the entertainment. They're all intertwined, but they are each distinct, and there are different goals, probably. You can imagine sitting around, you know, a Matchroom or Queensberry table, and somebody is saying, well, we want to develop this fighter in this way. And somebody else is saying, well, look, we've got to sell this. And then, you know, so I suspect it's not as clear-cut or as easy as many of us fans would like to say. So that was interesting. Andy Lee also talked about Joe Parker. And he said how frustrated the Parker team is. They were supposed to fight in sort of like July, August, and all these fights sort of, they fall by the wayside. And he seemed to pour some, if not cold, at least cool water on the idea of Dave Allen and Joe Parker, which is something we talked about yesterday. As you know, I think that would be a mismatch. I'm not in favor of it, and I would be concerned about Dave Allen's well-being. But maybe that fight's not going to happen because, like I say, Andy Lee seemed to pour cold water on it. But Andy Lee did say, like, there isn't really a fight out there, right? Like, he's sort of waiting for what happens with Usyk and Dubois. So But he said he will also like to see Parker in the ring late September, October. So if it's not Dave Allen, well, who would it be? I mean, that's another question mark. My own gut is saying that if he hangs around waiting to see what happens with Usyk Dubois, well, let's say Dubois wins. Dubois would then probably have to have a trilogy with Usyk, because Usyk would have won the first, Dubois wins the second. I think most people would demand that trilogy, right? And it would be very wrong for Dubois to say, well, you're not going to get a chance to win them back. I suspect that these are all clauses in the contracts anyways. If Usyk wins, I would like to see Usyk fight. Well, I would like to see Usyk retire. But if he carries on fighting, I'd like to see him fight Parker and then Caballel. That's my view. Fresh faces, fresh challenges, fresh styles. But I have a sneaking suspicion that if Usyk wins and becomes undisputed yet again, Tyson Fury will swoop in and take what, by rights, to use an old-fashioned expression, what by rights should be Parker's opportunity. So they're supposed to be friends, Fury and Parker, but hey, I suspect that, multi-million-dollar paychecks can possibly be deleterious to that friendship. So leave it at there, or leave it at that, rather. Yeah, what do you think? If Usyk wins, does he fight Parker, or is he going to go to Fury? Like we were saying earlier on, right? You've got the sport, you've got the business, you've got the entertainment. Interesting. But it might be the case that Dave Allen is sort of spared, which would be wonderful, really, because then I would like to see Dave Allen go on and maybe win the Lonsdale belt. Something he's long desired is to be British heavyweight champion. And something that when I was growing up, that was a very prestigious title to hold. And, the British heavyweight champion was universally recognized and admired. So maybe that's the route for him to go. Again, let me know what you think. And yeah, that was like I say, it was an interesting. Andy Lee has done a series of interviews, so all the big ones, and IFL and all the others. I always forget which one I'm watching, but they're all out there, and that's a little bit of a brief synopsis, so that you save yourself some time. But anyways, if you want to hear from the horse's mouth, as it were, they're all out there on the YouTube world. And I think that's all for the moment. Except, Dubois has once again given an interview where he's talking about how he's going to make Alexander Usyk old overnight. Of course, that's going to be the goal. And I think he's got a much higher chance this time than last time. But possibly now is the time to sort of just, what have we got? Like 10 days? Just taper and maybe focus and possibly not do any more interviews. Though, to be fair, I'm not sure when the interview was given. It was released like today or something. But to be fair, who knows when he actually had a conversation. So that's all for me for the moment. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you can. If you're watching this and you haven't hit the subscribe button, it would be nice if you could do that. Thank you very much. And I will see you on the next one. Wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous day. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.